So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is Other Ryan here.
And today we're going to be talking about another interesting topic. And this one actually concerns the appearance of the phantoms. Now, we see they seem to have this kind of black dripping or some kind of burnt appearance to them. We kind of want to speculate why we think this might be.
Yes, and this links back to the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer.
Yes, it does. We're actually going to be talking about the song Scott chose to use, which goes over the top of the trailer. Now, when we first were introduced to it, I think a lot of people were more interested in trying to find the secret message of Mike Kill All, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's actually playing it forward offers a bit more crucial and, I suppose we could say, reliable evidence. Now, the actual basis of London Bridge is Falling Down, that is the song, is actually in correlation with the Great Fire of London. And you guys can search that up, but it was quite a catastrophic fire. Now, would it not just make perfect sense for now that we know these animatronics are in their withered and burnt states, that in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 establishment, a fire possibly did happen?
Yes, and this links on to who we play as in the actual Five Nights at Freddy's 3 game. Because this new night guard, I do that with quotes either side, supposedly is a new night guard. So what if in fact he's a previous night guard, and why would he know what these animatronics look like if he's never seen them before?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose one thing that people could say is that there's a big box of animatronics right there, but, you know, it still doesn't entirely make sense kind of why, you know, when you have these hallucinations and things like that.
Yeah.
Why would they be burned? It doesn't make sense at all, does it? I mean...
No, I was very confused when I saw them in a burnt state. I thought maybe I missed something, but I don't know.
Yeah, same for me as well. It didn't really... I was just kind of looking at them thinking, who are these guys? But we can clearly see they're from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I think the link with the song and now the appearance of these characters it's almost a bit too coincidental for it to be unintentional, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely.
I think, as Ryan's already said about the night guard, we may be actually playing as someone who's already had previous experience with this kind of scenario, and I think the two candidates for this, whilst Mike is of course one, he actually came into the franchise in the first game, which is based several years after Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and that leaves us with two candidates, one being Jeremy Fitzgerald of course, and the other one being Fritz Smith.
In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, as we know in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, at the end we get a paycheck with our name on it, and the amount that you get and the dates. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3 this doesn't happen. You just get a news clipping about a burnt down horror attraction that we're in.
Yeah, which is, I thought that was quite unique. That's when you beat Nightmare Mode. It just makes me think more so towards this Fritz Smith character. I mean, we didn't actually know anything about this guy until Night 6, did we? Or is it Night 7 or 6 he makes his appearance?
Night 7. He takes over from Jeremy Fitzgerald, I think.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
He was actually fired, wasn't he, for tampering with the animatronics as well, so... link in.
It could all link in. I mean, Fritz Smith, everyone was kind of a bit skeptical about who this guy was. We didn't really know much about him. A lot of people were just kind of confused, and it might actually be that he could be this new security guard. At least that's what I'm speculating here. I just think, as I've said before and we've been saying throughout this whole video, the link between the animatronics looking in their kind of withered, burnt state, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in correlation to, you know, if he's a new night guard and he's just came into this establishment, I'm pretty sure, for example, an ordinary guy who's maybe had nightmares about a past establishment won't probably want to work here, would he?
Yeah, definitely.
So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And maybe because he's now back in the kind of office and, you know, the things like the fan and the desk and just everything else that's kind of making him relive the actual horrors. Maybe he's having some kind of panic attack. I think
the breathing heavily suggests that, having a panic attack, because whenever you see something, you're breathing really heavily and just fearing for your life, pretty much. Another
thing as well I really want to pick up on is, you know, when the ventilation system can error?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you leave it too long, the place actually starts to kind of smog up. Now, why would there be some kind of smoke entering the rooms if there wasn't any relation to a fire?
Yeah, it's a bit coincidental in honesty.
And I think the final thing that we're now going to end this video on is something which might actually contrast this whole theory and actually say the fire happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Now, a lot of people have been kind of seeing that the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 animatronics are the ones you experience the hallucinations with, and the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 characters have kind of become the props.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I need to ask you a question about Chica. Now, which version of Chica do we see?
Oh, that would be the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 version.
Yeah, it would be, and that Chica is incredibly burnt, so I suppose it could mean that perhaps these animatronics, because we know that there was an extra room in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 establishment. What about if these animatronics were actually being stored back there, and what about if Mike actually set the fire to the place? So, for example, we could actually be playing as Mike.
Well, quite possibly. I was thinking that maybe Because they say that the end minigame we see is from the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that the kind of layout looks too much like the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 layout for it not to be almost.
Back in the olden days, I think they used to use fire to kind of like perish the souls of things. So maybe the animatronics themselves burnt the place down to kind of, free themselves. I don't know, it's a very strange concept. But...
Well, I mean, with these animatronics looking possessed, and I suppose this once again all relates back to the marionette, like, kind of, because we see the marionette in Cam 8 when he is unwithered, he's not damaged at all, he looks the exact same, so could he have possessed these animatronics and made them set the place on fire whilst he kind of escapes in the safety?
That's always been a strong theory of yours that you've made, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's always a possibility, but I think in terms of this theory, guys, that's about all we can run on here before we start using sources which aren't properly thought through. So guys, let us know what you actually think about this. Why are these animatronics in their kind of burnt withered state? I mean, if the fire of the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 establishment hasn't actually happened yet, I mean, he wouldn't be seeing these the way they are, so I think that alone tells me something fishy is going on here.
Definitely, yeah.
And the fact also that they're regarded as hallucinations kind of relates back to something happening in the past and bringing it forward again, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So, alright then guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Of course, remember to like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?